Thank you, friends, for joining. So, friends, today we'll go through the book You Forever. So far, we have completed 10 chapters from this book, and today we'll go through chapter 11, which talks about telepathy. Of course, we have learned earlier also, but let's understand what's this book gives us about the telepathy and what the author suggests. So, let me share the slides. So, the chapter 11 of this book. So, the introduction to telepathy. Here, author says, telepathy works through vibrations. So our thoughts, whatever we think, it's not just, in our mind, it creates a vibration because based on our thoughts, we try to think and feel how we feel, right? How our emotion reactions are, everything is connected. So telepathy works through vibrations. When we want to send to the other person or what we are thinking about them. So every thought has some kind of frequency and energy to it, and it vibrates also. And it's not just stays within us in our mind, but it goes outer and expands. Just like the radio waves or any waves, right? They just transmit the the audio or the messages the same way our mind also sends this signals in the form of thoughts to the people and everywhere in the environment. So thoughts travel outward continuously, right? Knowingly or unknowingly, we think many things. We just have an assumption that the thoughts are just in our mind, but they travel in the form of vibration in our house, in the environment, everywhere throughout the space, right? Depending on the frequency and our intentions, they just travel. So calm mind receives better signal. See, one person send these thoughts, and if the other person is already in the calm state, then he can easily receive the signals. But otherwise, it takes some time if we want to consciously do the telepathy. So if the other person is also meditator or is very calm, then he can easily understand or get this messages or intuition. Otherwise, they just get some messages and they are not much aware of it and they just ignore it. So the person who sends also has to be calm and patient, and the person who receives also has to be done. Then only the proper communication happens. The spiritual harmony improves the proper communication. So when both the persons have that same frequency or understanding, then these thoughts can communicate very easily. Otherwise, also it happens, but very rarely, right? And we normally say, right? If it happens more frequently, then we know, okay, this is something that we have this ability and we can do. Otherwise, we just think that it's a coincidence. If it rarely happens, we think it's a coincidence. But most of the time, consciously, unconsciously, we are sending these signals to the people around us. Might be our family or friends or anywhere. Not only in the same place, but in the different countries and different places also. Because everything is in a form of vibration energy, it travels. Right? It's not just for a certain place, but throughout the universe, it can go anywhere and travel. So fear and worry disturb the mind. So many times we have a lot of things, right? We fear. If we get something, any messages or something in the dreams, we think something will happen to our near and dear ones. So most fear never happens. If we think negative about some persons also, it's very rare case that it will happen. But these thoughts disturb our mind, right? Worry creates unnecessary suffering. And later we realize that whatever we are, worried and all, it's just temporary. It's not that unimportant, but we are losing most of our energy just by worrying and getting stressed. Fear damages the inner peace. We all know, right? Mm, Many things happen and we just fear, and later we realize, the situation changes, the people change, but what we, went through the anxiety and stress that will remain in the body and it forms a disease. Later, the situation will change, the people will change, but the health will degrade. So it's very important in any situation, try to be calm and patient, not to worry too much. Things will change. So whatever we can do at that moment, we should do. Otherwise, just be calm and patient and see what happens. But unnecessary stress and worry, it disturbs the mind and it affects our health also. So agitation blocks the telepathic reaction. If our mind is completely disturbed, we cannot send the proper signal also, because we want to say something, yes, and again in a few seconds the thought will come, no, it's not good to share. So we are confusing the thoughts also. So the vibrations will not go as it's required. To send anything, any messages or something, our mind should be calm and we should be focused really on what we want to send or what intention is. We should strongly focus on that. Then it will immediately reach the person. Even though the other person is not aware, but still he could send something. He could feel, someone is thinking about me or small, some kind of, experience, he will get it. So calmness restores the balance. The more and more we are calm, our mind, then it restores the balance and we can easily communicate telepathically with the other person. So it's mostly it happens, but if someone wants to do consciously, then we can follow these things. Thoughts broadcast, radio signals. So thoughts spread beyond the body, right? As I said, it's not just limited to our body, but it travels around. So mental vibrations affect others. We just think, whatever I'm thinking, positive or negative, it's just impacting me. No, it's causing pollution in the environment, just like our habits, right? Many things. Thoughts also create pollution because how we think and how we, react, it impacts the people around us. Because everything is energy and vibrating, it can change the environment also. In a place where the people around us are very calm and patient, but suddenly we got some issue and we are worried and anxiety and we are sending the same vibration, the whole room, the whole environment, and people also get knowingly and unknowingly they get impacted by this, because every moment we are exchanging our energies and vibrations, right? So whatever we are thinking, it's not just limited to us, but it impacts the environment around us. That's why people say, be calm and stay positive, so that our environment is also very peaceful. It can impact our children, our home, or whoever is around us, it can impact. And similarly, we can be impacted by the other persons also. That why cleansing and being more calm is very important. Peaceful thoughts create harmony. Humans constantly broadcast energy. So when we are peaceful, the same we send positive environment around us. And when we are in fear and anger, we send the similar vibrations. So human constantly broadcast energy. So everyone, including each one of us, we broadcast this energy. That's why, as we said, some places, knowingly, unknowingly, when we talk to some people, when someone is worried and all, we try to listen to them and we get that energy, right? Because we exchange that energy. So knowingly, unknowingly, we also started feeling low. If someone is aware, they just, ignore the things, but someone, they carry that and they think for, some days or some weeks, they think about the person, what happened to them. We keep on thinking because we are constantly exchanging these things. The tranquil head. So the author says, the mind which is tranquil is very important. Calmness improves the mental reception. When we are calm and good, we can easily receive the signals from the other person, from the higher self. Any intuitive messages, everything happens when the mind is calm. Then only with that awareness only we can easily identify them. So tranquility creates inner harmony. Emotional control strengthens the awareness. The more and more we are emotionally strong, right? For everything, we don't, get too much attachment. If it's, any situation is in our favor, we get happy, we get excited. If something happens, we immediately feel very low. So that balance has to be there. No matter what the situation is, our inner peace and calmness should always be stable. It should not rise too high and low, but always the balance is very important. So peaceful mind receives clearly. When the mind is peaceful, it receives these signals very perfect, very clearly, very strongly we receive those messages. And then we can easily identify. Sometimes when it is not that clear and disturbance, even though we get it, we ignore them or we are not sure about it. But when the mind is calm, that messages comes very strongly that we know, okay, this is something for me. So I have to pay attention to that we can identify the difference. So telepathy needs mental stillness, right? To communicate telepathy, the mental stillness is very, very important. But as we do this meditation practice and all, naturally the telepathic abilities will improve. Constantly, whatever we are thinking, easily we can, send to the other person, and we can also receive from the people around us. But if we want to do consciously, then we can practice and develop it more so that we can have this more frequently and more clearly we can have this intuition. Seeing problems in the correct perspective. So the author says we always worry for, small, small things. But there are so many big things, but we just worry for small things and waste energy, and later they don't make any sense. So minor problems are often exaggerated. Emotional reactions create suffering. For small thing we give so much reaction and all, but after a minute, it just passes away. So we need to have that control in ourselves. That's what the author says. Perspective restores peace. We only see situation from our own perspective, but when we actually, after some time when the mind is calm and everything is fine, then we actually understand the situation. But initially we just unnecessarily we worry without thinking. If something comes, some news comes, someone says something, immediately we react, but we don't try to understand. The moment, no matter what the situation, what the problem is, the more we try to understand, why it is, what's happening, then that understanding will come and this anxiety, fear will drop, and we will take the right decision or the right action, what is required for that. When we are in stress and anger, worry, then we make wrong decisions and end up, creating more and more problems for us. So most daily worries are temporary. That's what the author says. Very temporary. For small, small things, we react so much unnecessarily. So calm thinking improves judgment. When we are calm and we are patient, then we can make the right judgment. And the author suggests relaxation and breathing practice. He says one of the ways we can, calm the mind and relaxation is doing the breathing practice. He says to lie down and relax completely, and ease our muscles anyway. There should not be any tension. Just ease yourself completely and take a slow, deep, breaths. Because when we take this breath, it will impact our emotional and mental health also. So think, and as an author says, when we are taking this deep breath, slowly say, peace, peace, peace in your mind. So that actually creates a, strong sense of peace and calmness in our body. Because whenever we are anxiety or stressed out, we release a lot of chemicals and hormones. We also learned about the fight or flight mode, right? How it impacts our health. So he says, during the taking the deep, slow, deep breaths, just say peace, peace, peace. Then actually, we try to feel in that way, and immediately our body calms. And in every day to day, we can practice saying this so that in most of the situations we act from peace. Push away the disturbing thoughts. Whatever is disturbing you, just push them away. Try to bring that inner calmness and peace. Calm breathing creates a tranquility. So it's very good to do any breathing exercises, the box breathing or different kinds of breathing, whatever you want, you can do, in the day, morning and night. And just before, meditation also, it truly helps. Immediately we can go into the deeper states. So most people, they feel very difficult to go into the deeper states. Just doing few deep breaths before the meditation and then just observing the breath. Immediately we go into the trance states. So harmony between persons and minds. As we said, when the both persons have that harmony, that understanding is there, easily we can communicate. So most meditators, right, or spiritual people, they can easily communicate and understand, and they speak by their thoughts, not by words. Lot of spiritual masters or our ancestors we have read, right? Earlier days there was no phone, nothing, but people still used to communicate by means of thoughts. They used to send, about the future, upcoming incidents and all, they used to communicate telepathically. So harmony improves telepathic connection. Emotional conflict weakens the communication. If our mind is not stable, we are going to a lot of worry and all, then it weakens that communication. We cannot properly send the right intentions or whatever intention is. Calm people influence others positively. When we are calm, when we are positive, then we can change the environment around us. So many masters and spiritual gurus we saw, right? Many people, they are so much anxious, stressed. But when we go to their presence, when they stay in their presence, when they go to meet them, suddenly some shift happens. They start feeling better. Because one positive person can change the whole environment. That's how the higher vibrations, the masters and everyone be. So we also can do that. When we raise our vibrations, the people around us can feel the difference. They want to come, they want to speak to us, they want to spend more and more time. But when we're in the low vibrations, people also don't like, right? The same way, because what we send is what we receive. If we send positive, then we attract people. So mental balance creates stronger understanding. Spiritual growth helps human relationships. Here, author says this is not just for the communication, but if you want to grow spiritually also, the proper mental balance is very, very important. That's how we can grow spiritually and also grow our relationships better. So you can start practicing, at home with your kids or with your family members. When they're sitting before you, just, you can think, they should do something, or they should look at you, or they should get some water. Just set some, intentions and see. It may not work immediately. Try to do, few days. Slowly, the other person will start getting your thoughts and intuition, or at least they know that they will turn towards you. That's something is, message is coming from you, or you might be, calling them. Some reaction will come from that other person. It may not be 100%, they can get it, but slowly that practice we can do, and we can develop this telepathic communication. So telepathy required discipline and practice. The most important thing is practice. It will not happen in one day, but gradually it improves. But we can start doing this, right? Practice strengthens the sensitivity. The more and more practice, the more aware and mindful we are, we can easily, small, whatever the sensitive messages also, you can easily understand them. Concentrations improves mental control. Emotional discipline is necessary, right? Mental clarity and emotionally you should be strong and stable and balanced. Patience leads to spiritual growth. For anything, for telepathy, for intuition, for anything or spiritual growth, patience and regular practice is very important. That's how we can grow. Nothing happens in a single day. With more practice and dedication, we can easily achieve all of these things. So, peace, health, and spiritual awareness. Your author says for all these three, to get a good inner peace and improve your health and also grow spiritually, our mental health is very, very important. Peace improves physical health. When we are calm and peace, we don't release unnecessary cortisol and other hormones which, impact our health. Stress weakens the body. So most of the time, people don't have any situation doesn't happen just by recollecting the same thing again and again in the mind. We are creating the stress. Someone says something a year back, but still we hold that. We still, whenever we see that person, the situation comes, we think, and we are creating the stress, right? We want the other person to change, but we send this vibration. He did this to me, he said this to me. Then what we are sending is reaching the person consciously, unconsciously. He is receiving the same, and he also start feeling the same for us. So the conflict will never end. If you want to, have a good relationship with the person, then forget what had happened. Try send positive, vibrations, positive intentions. Then definitely it will reach the person. It may not happen a single day, but in few days you will see the person change. That's what the telepathic communication is, right? What we cannot say directly, thoughts and intentions we can send to the person, and slowly it will heal us. And next time when you meet, both will have that positive, feeling inside, and you will have a better communication. So spiritual balance supports the healing. When we are more balanced mentally and emotionally, then definitely the healing will happen. So inner peace transforms the life. So friend, the summary of this chapter: peace and calmness strengthens telepathic awareness. Fear and emotional chaos blocks spiritual perception. To grow spiritually, also, we have to have the right balance of our thoughts, emotions. Thoughts continuously influence ourselves and others. We always think it might impact only us, but around us, the people, also the thoughts impact. So, some of the reflection points: how often do fear and worry disturb my inner peace? What kind of thoughts and vibrations do I spread to others? Am I practicing calmness and mental discipline daily? Just reflect upon yourself. So, thank you, friends. I hope this was helpful. We know most of these things, but again, recollecting or recapping these things will truly help us to be more and more mindful in our day-to-day activities and how we are, affecting others. When we are low, when we are thinking negative, it's not just for us, but we are impacting others also. So we should be mindful about our kids at our home environment and everything. The more and more we do breathing exercise and meditation, it brings positivity at our home and it can bring a change in the people around us, right? Yeah. Yes, Jyotiji, you can unmute yourself.
Yeah. So I don't know if this is telepathy or not, but I experienced that many times. Like I think of doing something, or I think of something actually, and then next minute or within 2 minutes, my daughter does the same thing which I wanted, and in turn she replies that I know you're thinking, and I get you, I know you, and all she tells. The same with sometimes happens with my husband as well.
No, no, definitely it's a telepathy only. Because you're all practicing this meditation and all, right? Normally also it happens,
Yeah.
but when we do meditation, all we are all more ready to receive the signals because somewhere we are more mindful. Our mind is, slowly removing all this unnecessary clutter so we can easily receive and send the signals.
Yeah.
So that's good actually. We can start implementing with our kids, at our home. We can try this. And of course, it's already happening with you. So that's good actually.
Yeah, unintentionally. I don't know that, but now I realize that. Yeah, sure.
Yes. The same way with us also. It happens most of the times.
Oh, yeah, okay.
Yes.
Yeah.
Thank you. Shweta.
So Purvaji, I got a question. Sometimes, like uh, we might not have used certain words for like 20, 30 years, and suddenly it comes in our mind. And within like an hour or two, some person we are going to talk to them, they will use the same word. So I'm just wondering, is this a telepathy thing or is it a more of a déjà vu, like it already happened? We are trying to get that from the past, or how is this? Like you think of a word which you have never used for 30 years, and the other person comes in another like half an hour or something, comes and talks to you and uses that particular word. So I always get, intrigued by these such things. So just wondering, what is your thought on these?
Yep. It can be intuition and as you said, deja vu or, mix a combination of this also. Because we rarely use, and sometimes what happens, right? If we get something somewhere, before some other person uses the word, we get an intuition about the word also. Some of the situations we see before, or somewhere we get these messages, right? In dreams also, and after the day it happens. So that might be your intuition also about that word that this person is going to use in the future. So it can be intuition or telepathy or a combination of that.
Oh, okay. Great, good. Thank you.
Yes.
And
But
also
but
in
these things, happens. People don't believe. They just think it's a
Mhm.
coincidence, but there is definitely a science and it happens.
Right. And also we have a tradition, right? We say that we just thought of you and you're calling me 100 years. I think those are all telepathy, right? For sure.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it
Mhm.
happens most oftenly, with most of our family and friends whom we regularly communicate, right? We know we read their
Mhm.
minds, we have that energy always, so it happens more frequently. But with a person whom we have not communicated, if you want to truly communicate, we can think about them, of a friend whom we didn't communicate for a year and all. Suddenly, the thought comes and they just call. that happens. So yes, these things works.
Yes. I completely agree. Thank you.
Thank you. And most of times we send most of this, but depending on the other person's situations and when they try to respond. Sometimes they are not in the situation to receive, so they might not answer or call us. But sometimes when they are in a good state, immediately it goes and they just call us back. Yeah, it's
Right.
not just we are not communicating; it's just our mental state depends.
Right. I think it's pretty much same as our telecommunication, right? Where antennas, receiver, transmitter,
Yeah,
both have to be in sync with the right frequency, then it connection happens. Yeah.
that's what the author says, right? He compares with the radio waves and all this. Same how those signals
Mhm.
broadcast, our thoughts also broadcast. It's so much scientific and day by day the good
Yeah,
a lot of curiosity. This we are learning a lot of
exactly.
things. That's good.
Yeah. I think there's a technology also coming, right? Encephalography, where they put probes around your skull,
Mm.
and whatever you think, the computer can read the thoughts and can take actions like pressing a key or all those things. You can tune that. So just matter of how the brain waves work and how the reader reads it. And they say that, you keep saying that hello, 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 hello means then that particular frequency they'll capture and kind of map it as hello. And they ask you to say something else like I'm going, I'm going, I'm going. Means they will take that frequency. Then like that they keep reading all these things. And after a while they can pretty much read all your thoughts, like they know what you're thinking. So science has definitely come up. So but we humans can definitely do that. I think in one of the uh, gurus talk, they said that the speech is a very, very low level of communication. Uh, we are not supposed to really speak. We were given gift of talking through our minds, between people, and there was no need for language or voice or speech. Then, since our powers came down, we became low. Then we started using speech. So that tells a lot about our power of mind. Yeah.
Yes, absolutely. That's
Yeah.
true. A lot of, technology is developing, but we all have those capabilities. That's what I feel, right? When coming into the spiritual path and learning all these things, I think, in schools and all, these wisdom has to be shared, unless just focus
Exactly.
on, studies and all. But developing these qualities, these abilities also will improve the child. Yes. Now, after many years, we are learning all things. Earlier, if we know, our life would have been very different.
Better, definitely. I feel like, yeah, I missed the boat with the kids. They
Yeah.
have grown bigger and it's very hard to prove a lot of things, especially with karmas and, having good thoughts. I used to tell them, whenever you see ambulance, you have to pray, for good things to happen. Whoever is in that ambulance. So then, they were doing all those things. Then later, I think as they become a teenager and all those things, they started questioning. So uh, I feel like there is some disconnect definitely in the school systems where, in the name of critical thinking, everything is now being questioned. Whether it's for good or bad, I don't know. But sometimes we feel that we could have done better when it
So
comes to
that
that.
this
Yeah.
unnecessary stress, work pressure, or study pressure, we are losing our ability, and just we are in the when these all things are not there, I think we can perform better. And for parents also, right? Earlier, our parents or grandparents, they don't know much of this. So when the parents, if they have this righteous knowledge at home, the small kids, they're very curious. They have these telepathic capabilities and all because parents don't know. They don't encourage them into this. They say, "Oh, it's just something." No,
Mhm.
just. But when they,
Right.
the child also can develop this. That's true.
Exactly. Yeah. Thank you, G. Very good session. Thank you.
And actually, Apple Vision Pro is also like developed in similar way, right? I mean, somewhat like minimizing the windows and then uh, taking the control over here and there and then actioning on it. Somewhat, I mean, not exactly, but maybe, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Somewhat.
Yeah.
See, but technology is
Yeah.
growing
Yeah.
is good, but because of that, we are not using our minds. We are losing.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
think the moment
True.
we started using smartphone, we lost our smartness.
Yeah.
So we outsourced it.
Earlier, we used to remember phone numbers and all. Now we hardly remember anything. Right.
Exactly. Yes.
In a way, it's helpful, but yeah, it's not helping us grow our abilities. Wonderful.
Actually, we have become lazy.
That's true. Now, when
Yeah, but I also noted one thing, like all the big gurus and masters, they kind of keep away from technology. They are not really using much of technology, and they're satisfied with whatever powers they have, you know. I do see that they don't rely more on technologies. Even they don't know how to switch on the microphone and all those things. So that tells me that, you know, they still have that uh, all the good powers, and they are not outsourced to technology, their abilities.
that's true. See, we people we think that they are leading a simple life. They are not interested in all those things, but they are more powerful than
Mm,
us. They know what they have, so
exactly.
they don't fall on all of these things, right? We get curious, we get attached to this technology and all, but they know they can live
Right.
without all these things. That's right. But it's
Right.
good to know the technology and be update. But at the same time, we should not 100% depend on
Get,
them. We should develop our
get
own
stuck with that. Yeah.
abilities. Yes,
Right.
that's good. Yeah, thank you. Thank you, everyone. So, friends, let's get into the meditation. So, as usual, we'll be doing the breath mindfulness meditation. If anyone is new, the posture is very simple, as you see in the picture. Sit comfortably, clasp your hands, fingers into fingers, and cross your leg at ankle. Just observe your normal, natural breath. Don't forcefully inhale or exhale. Just observe how breath is going in and coming out. As you observe your breath, your mind gets empty. And it's quite common to get thoughts in between, but whenever you realize you're in thoughts, bring your attention back to the breath. That's why we are giving this music and guidance. So whenever we are lost in the thoughts, immediately we remember or recollect that, okay, this is the meditation, and we just come back. So I'll play the music and guidance. So let's do this meditation. Dear friends, sit comfortably, close your eyes, clasp your hands, fingers into fingers, and now observe your normal, natural in breath and the out breath. Don't forcefully inhale or exhale, just observe the breath. As you observe the breath, our mind becomes empty. Just be with your breath, dear friends. Let thoughts come and go. Don't get attached to it. Don't get carried by your thoughts. Whenever you realize you're in thoughts, bring your attention back to the breath. This time we are spending for our own self. We are all into the group meditation. Go deeper and deeper into yourself. Come back to your body, dear friends. Recollect your experiences. What did you feel? Friends, at this moment, let's express gratitude. Be grateful to your parents, teachers, and mentors. Be grateful to your family members, friends, and everyone you know. Be grateful to plants, animals, and Mother Nature. Be grateful to all the technology and devices which we are using, through which we are all connected. Elevate yourself with this feeling of love and compassion and feeling of oneness with each and every one. Whenever you are ready, place your palms on your eyes for 5 seconds and then slowly open your eyes.